And then on the technical side of mechanical, the main thing that we've been able to use it for, and we've seen our techs use it for, has been structuring an agent to take simple notes that the tech writes and turning them into more detailed or more concise notes that specifically contain specific parameters that the customer asks for. If the tech kind of writes everything as a story, because sometimes that's how the tech writes or thinks, the AI can be trained to pull out specific data and make it more concise for the customer. And so simplifying and making that easier for everybody, high quality communication for the customer, and low distraction and frustration for the technician. If we can find that balance through AI and automation, I think that's like one of the most valuable things.
Hello, welcome back to another episode of Second Brain, AI-powered business thinking. I'm your host, Vimal Patel from RoundTechSquare. Today we have a guest in house, Spencer from JAGS Mechanical, a beautiful brand from Ohio, does terrific work. Thank you very much, Spencer, for being on the podcast.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me here. I'm really excited to talk today.
Okay, nice. The first thing first, talk us through about JAGS Mechanical. I mean, what you guys do. I mean, I saw your video the other day and then it was very, very motivating. So I will let you say what you guys do.
Thank you. Yeah. So JAGS is a repair company that focuses on restaurants. We do the mechanical side, so everything from the hot side grills, fryers, ovens, to the refrigeration, to the HVAC, even minor plumbing and electrical. We try to be a one-stop shop for restaurants. We can get their immediate issues, their emergency issues handled very quickly.
Okay, nice. So you are one of those lifeline for those nightmares of restaurant owners they might have. Like, okay, yeah, I came in the morning, my things are broken, and then you are the call away, and then you take care of it. Okay, nice. And then your territory is around the Ohio state only right now, correct?
Well, we do a little bit into Indiana and Kentucky,
Okay,
just because
gotcha. Okay,
we're right
nearby
on the
states.
border.
Okay,
Yeah.
beautiful. Okay, so here we go. I mean, the purpose of this whole podcast is that how are you as a brand owner, as a leader, using technology and how are you making the technology work for this whole industry of, the specifically in terms of mechanical work, HVAC, AC, all those hardwares. So talk us through that, what are you doing with the technology in your business?
Yeah, so I think that, there's a lot of general ways that AI will be used across any business or can be used across any business, and that's like the largest portion of our adoption of AI is like the sales and meetings and planning and simplification. You have a lot of that we definitely do, and then on the technical side of mechanical, um, the main thing that we've been able to use it for, and we've seen our techs use it for, has been structuring an agent to take simple notes that the tech writes and turning them into more detailed or more concise notes that specifically contain specific parameters that the customer asks for. If the tech kind of writes everything as a story, because sometimes that's how the tech writes or thinks, the AI can be trained to pull out specific data and make it more concise for the customer. So that's like one industry specific way that we use it. I think there's a lot more cool, nuanced ways to use AI in business. One of which is I use a little device that clips to your shirt or goes in your pocket and will record
Okay,
and transcribe your meetings or sales calls, and then
I
do an
see.
AI summary that gives you the data from that. I find
Like
that,
something like Claude.
yeah, it is Plug. I use
Yeah,
Plug.
it is plot. Okay. Okay. Nice. Okay. Wow. Okay. So yeah. And then you said that the tool like a plow used by your kind of employees who are the people who go on the floor or only the office and admin staff.
Usually it's on the sales side more so
Sell
than,
side. Okay.
yeah.
Makes sense.
Yep.
Okay. Nice. So the way you said that the industry wise also the tech and IT has been used in terms of getting the data and then having the historical information about each job, what
Yep.
we spoke about, what are the scenarios you might have explored or might have mentioned to the clients. And at the same time, terrific way of using it in a higher level of having a hardware do the job for you, which is summarizing the calls and saving a lot of time and money. Okay, nice. Now, when I see your website, right? I mean, the website, mobile application, any kind of those platforms or tools are there to do so many things in terms of like, automate those things or to make those things very fast and quick, and then with a lot of accuracy. How are you using that? I mean, I see that you are using very, very nicely, but at the same time, any internal tools or any kind of like, setup you have very smartly to kind of do the daily task with the use of those tools or softwares you might have subscribed or do you might have in your place?
Yeah, so on our website, I think that a lot of the customer facing side of it is more traditional automation tools like automatically taking their service call. They can put in a service call, even a new customer can, and it'll take them to our application process for finance so that they get all that information on the front end. But that's kind of pretty standard. I think more of like the robust side of AI and what we use it for and what we hope to eventually use it for is on the back end of delivery and making sure that the customer gets the end result that they need. On the website side of it, because we're commercial and we focus on companies that have a structured way of putting in calls, the website automation is not as high traffic as answering phone calls and taking in email requests. So like AI that really gets me excited is when you start talking about, okay, it can take a email that comes in from a service provider and API it into our dispatching software and automatically create those calls, like that type of thing. I think
Okay.
there's a lot of potential there. I think there's a lot of potential in prompting. Like that's one of the things I think people don't really think about with AI is like they're all like, well, it's just taking away the creativity or the thought process, but you can use AI to prompt people to think and prompt them to think correctly. And I think
Nice.
there's a lot of opportunity in that side of it to cause, especially with techs writing notes. You have a tech that's never written notes. It's like, where do I start? A lot of those guys that do what we do are very technical and mechanical. And then you want them to write an essay, like let them answer some questions. And then the AI can take that and make it into what the customer needs.
Okay, nice. So a lot of BTS are happening with the use of tech in your back office where customer are getting very standard and very elegant experience of the whole journey. But at the same time, as a business, as a leader and as a founder of the business, you are doing a lot of those pieces very correctly so that the whole work goes very quick and fast. At the same time, you can scale quickly, you can close more deals and stuff like that. Okay, nice, nice. Okay. The next question I would have in the sense of what is next, right? So I always ask that question to every one of my guests, saying that okay, you definitely knows your business. Like you said, you are 10 years in the business of your, in the field, 6, 7 years you've been owning this business to yourself and you're scaling like crazy. So now if I may ask, or if somebody comes and asks you that, okay, hey, tell me one process or tell me one system you want to dream of having automated or having, done for you kind of a thing with the use of maybe a tag, maybe a tool, or maybe like, the whole new concept of AI thought processing that, okay, in this industry, we have this thing. Not only you, but every other company out there in the world has that process. I wish it can be automated, right? So,
Mm.
or maybe if it is multiple processes or multiple scenarios, I mean, if you can just put some light on it.
Yeah, I mean, the one that I'm most excited about is what I just mentioned about like the being able to help technicians make their notes without involving more people and without slowing down the process. I think if you talk to anybody who deals with repair technicians
Yes.
or the technicians themselves, at some point in the conversation, the notes and communication piece of the job is going to come up either as a frustration on the customer side or as a frustration on the technician side. And
Correct.
so simplifying and making that easier for everybody. So high quality communication for the customer and low distraction and frustration for the technician. If we can find that balance through AI and automation, I think that's like one of the most valuable things. There are a lot of things I'd like to see automated in our industry in our world, and I think, that one's probably the most powerful in the short term. Like there's specific things to our company that I'd like to see, like the technology already exists, it just has to be implemented and built. Is like we have a custom app that we use for dispatching. I'd like to be able to have a little chat bubble down here on the side that can search the whole
All the
software and
whole
say,
thing, yes,
when was the last
yes.
time we were out to this customer? What did we do? Instead of clicking on the profile, going through the jobs, trying to find the one that I'm looking for.
Out the one looking
There's
for,
a lot
yes.
of speed and efficiency that can be done
Yeah,
there.
so okay, nice. So if I categorize that whole summary into communication, so the communication is something which is very essential in this business
Oh yeah,
from each direction, from client, from the brand, from dispatcher, from those expert, the workers or those people, where the how nicely you can just, pack the communication so tight so that everything can go smoothly. I mean, I had a very interesting conversation, Spencer, with another gentleman. He said that how cool it is if my glasses, which is happening by the way, right? But I'm just putting that context a little bit over here, saying that if the glass is like a Meta Ray-Ban is it's came up with that already. Google is might be working on that. I mean they had it previously also done. That the glasses you wear, you're standing at and looking at some hardware or some broken piece. And when I'm setting that dispatch call and that recording from my glasses attached to that, so when that expert person look into that, saying that okay, yes, he's saying this, and I'm seeing that in recording. Now, let's just get the thing going instead of assuming, hoping, praying, take the right tool, take the right parts, and all those stuff. So yeah, so again, that's a part of communication, but in a very advanced level, saying that the communication cannot be limited to word or
yeah,
or a written. It
yeah,
can be another different 10 different ways to do that. So okay,
yeah.
so very nice. So
Where
that opens up a lot of doors. Sorry.
Yeah. And I think wearable tech is one of the things I personally am most excited about. Like, I don't know exactly how it will be in our industry or with technicians, but I've thought about for a long time, like if I had smart glasses that, when you recognize somebody's face, it could uh, capture their name and take
Gotcha.
like notes
Take
or
the notes.
give you
That's so
some
cool.
kind of, there's a whole lot of balance here and nuance to the whole AI conversation, and I'm a very pro AI person, so I think a lot of people could hear
Nice.
that, and there's conversations around privacy and things like that, and I think those things are all important considerations. But for me personally, picturing a world where we can do that and have that
Yeah.
technology assist us in our day to day, I think is something that
Okay,
sounds
beautiful.
good.
Yeah, I mean, when you say about those wearable technology, if you remember back in those days when we used to watch movies, and then when those people kind of keep their hand like this, and then say something,
Yeah,
and then it was always fascinating, saying, that, "Oh, how is happening now? Now watch." Every teenager, every person in a school also like having their watch and like talking like this, and that it sounds funny, it looks funny, 20 years ago. But right now, it's just like a part of our life, part of our
yeah,
ecosystem. So yeah, you like you said, like communication is the key. Now, last question, maybe, if I may, that AI, right? I mean, you must have heard those cult words saying that AI will take our job, or AI there
mm,
to build, or AI there to kill, kind of a thing. So all those noise out there. What are your thoughts? How are you taking it? Saying that okay, hey, do you think that AI will take the job? I mean, in your industry, or AI will absolutely, if you put it in a place properly, then it will build it, or it will kind of leverage it a lot.
yeah. This is something I think about and talk about a lot. I think that it is definitely a fear-based conversation most of the time. And
Okay.
so, number one, our industry and the trades in general is probably one of the safest industries. Like, let's just assume for a second that the fear was accurate, which I don't know. I'm not an expert, and I'll get to that in a second. But let's assume that it was valid that people are going to lose their jobs. The trades is probably the safest or one of the safest ways to have a career, largely because robotics is far, far behind where AI is. AI is getting better at a crazy rate, and robotics is at a much slower rate because you're interacting with physical problems, not digital ones. So the speed's going to be slower. So in order to do what we do, you need robotics. Um, so any job that requires manual labor, especially highly specialized trained labor, is going to be protected long term. The second piece of this conversation and kind of how I look at this problem in general is look into history, like in the past, what has happened as technology has evolved. And you do see periods where it affects the job market significantly. You do see periods in history where automation caused people to, or unemployment rates to increase. But I think the interesting and kind of beautiful thing about humanity is our ability to adapt to that.
True.
And you see people become more effective with technology and have better quality of life over time. People don't like to talk about that because we do get caught up in the things that could be better about our world, and not that we shouldn't have those discussions, but the reality is like the quality of life we have today is significantly better than at many times even the richest and wealthiest people on earth could have had access to. And
That's true.
so I like to have that positive take and also remind myself, like, historically, there may be a period where there is a struggle with in the job market as AI gets better and as we struggle through that adaptation period, but it's not forever. Eventually things balance back out.
Wow. I mean, what a motivational way to say that, because that has a sense of responsibility and sense of use, but at the same time being responsible about how we use it and then be adaptable about what may or may not happen. Very nice. I mean, the way, if you think the whole last 3 decades of pen, pencil to calculator to a typewriter to a computer to a mobile to iPad and to AI, like that whole circle of life for last 3 decades, which we as a people, like especially people like our age of between 35 to 45, we saw that 3 decades,
Yeah.
fortunately, right? And then we learn a lot of things from that. And then we know that okay, hey, it's going to be tough, it's going to be easy, it's going to be super easy afterwards. So maybe we are in that at that first step of tougher situations that's
Yeah.
gonna get easy, and it's gonna be like part of our life, the way the calculator is nowadays, or maybe
Yeah.
like the computer is
Well, I,
nowadays. So
I
yeah.
love the personally I love the example of like the phones, like the phone operators. Like if you took somebody who used to operate a transfer, like the switching of one call to another and like the operators, if you teleported them from the past to today and showed them the world and the technology, one of their questions would be, well, this must have hurt the job market because there's nobody operating the
Yeah,
phone.
yes.
If you asked anybody, they would say that's not been a problem. It's not a problem. At least today, it's not a problem.
Today.
Nobody thinks
Yeah,
about it. Nobody's bummed out that they're not getting to have that job. And
that's
I
true.
don't want
That's
to say
true.
nobody, but I just mean, in general,
Yeah.
this is not a big issue. Nobody's talking about whether or not we need to bring back transfer operators.
Agree. Agree. No, you're absolutely right. So yeah, having said that, we are towards the end of the podcast. If I may, I'll let you say something like, if somebody wants to get a hold of you at JAGS Mechanical and then kind of avail your service, or kind of just just ping you, say that okay, hey, what's up, and then get more information or like this, where they can reach you at.
For sure. So JAGS Mechanical, our core focus as a company is building smarter and wealthier individuals than the universities. So we're trying to build a way for technicians to build success in JAGS Mechanical. And so we actually have something called the Smarter and Wealthier brand where we focus on that. That's our podcast title as well, the Smarter and Wealthier podcast. You can find us at smarterandwealthier.com. You can find JAGS at jagsmechanical.com, and you can learn a lot about us and our mission and what we're trying to do to accomplish it.
Wow. Okay, got it. So I promise you, I'll put all these links over there so that the audience can listen to you, understand what your thoughts are, and then also connect with you if they wanted to kind of speak with you, or get your service. But yeah, till then, thank you very much, Spencer. It was lovely talk to you. We got learn a lot. We got a lot of information from you. Till the next episode. Thank you very much.
Thank you.